Hey guys, welcome to the Perfect Tile System updates for 1.2. I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the new improvements that were made to the Perfect Tile System. And one of the biggest thank yous that I have to give is to Epic, because in the new update for the engine 4.11, Parallax Occlusion materials right here. Actually, this is Parallax Occlusion material. They are now significantly cheaper than they used to be. This system, I believe, right here was about 320 plus instructions before. Now I think it's down to like 230. Yeah, here we go. 224. So yeah, a lot of really good improvements Epic made to the way the engine figures out custom nodes, and it really helped out the optimizations with Parallax Occlusion. It is now much cheaper to get these kinds of materials working in your project. If you're making just maybe not a cobblestone, but definitely bricks, wooden panels, tiles. If you want to have that extra layer of depth to your system, you can go ahead and just turn on Parallax Occlusion, and it'll run significantly faster than any time it would before. So thank you to Epic for that update. Now, the next two updates to kind of go hand in hand. I've changed a lot of the way this system figures out parallax, just basic parallax and iterative parallax methods. So kind of like what you see here. It's not doing parallax occlusion, it's just doing the fall off blending and stuff. It's cheaper. Yeah, 132 instructions versus 230. So it's and the results kind of the same. Kind of similar, very similar, the results. But this was a lot more expensive. A lot more expensive in the older systems. Because I'll just go ahead and show you the shader really quick. This is the master shader. And you just kind of at a glance, you'll see a lot of what used to be there has been pruned and stricken from the shading system, and it has all been moved. All the parallax stuff, it goes through right here, and then it figures out parallax occlusion all through here, and then all the iterative parallax methods and basic parallax methods happen here. And if you look, it's all expanded. There's no custom nodes here. There's no like, I'm not using the bump offset node here. I'm using all expanded nodes and material functions, and crazy reason for that. For some reason, I'll have to get into that later. But the benefit of this system is it's cheaper. When you make your materials, it's much easier to just sort of use this method to make your materials. It just makes the parallax rendering much cheaper. And the reason I have to do that is because for some reason, I don't know why, but one of the newer features that I have right now in the realms of optimization, you'll actually see it in a brand new preset, the Advanced Bricks preset. So I'll go ahead and pull that up for you. One of the newest features and for optimization is this optimum texture map. And you'll see the option to use it right here. Use optimum texture map. You'll see if I uncheck it, these are all the textures that it's using, and it's calling each of these textures individually. Now, if you have, I will say, actually, there you go. Now, if you have DirectX 11, yay, good for you, because the system uses shared texture samplers, and the shared samplers only work on DirectX 11, but the shared samplers call in all the textures into one draw call, and you don't have to worry about wasting so much draw calls on individual textures. However, if you are using a PS4 or OpenGL, then you will have no choice. It will have to call each of these individual textures individually, and right here, that texture samplers would be probably, I would say, a 10 instead of a 6. Or maybe 1, 2, 7 plus the 3. Yeah, so like 10, maybe 11, depending on what kind of features you're using, instead of just 6 draw calls. But you can sort of make it a lot easier on the system to run anyways. And I need to bring back this. There we go. If you just use one texture to handle all that different maps. And actually, let me go ahead and expand it again. The different maps that I was using include things like ambient occlusion, displacement, roughness, and the tile mask. And these were all featured into one mega compressed texture, and it only uses one draw call. So you can see again, we have the ambient occlusion map, we have the roughness map, tile masks, and displacement. And it's all in one channel pack texture. And you can finally do this. Yay! This is a feature that I wanted months ago, I think years ago. And the thing that was stopping me was this displacement channel thingy. It was fine for parallax occlusion materials like this, but it wasn't working on the basic materials like this. So I managed to fix that, and now I can say it works fantastically no matter what you want to do with it. You can just have one texture channel packed to take care of these things. By the way, this advanced bricks material, not only does it tile like an insanely long distance into the netherworld, but all the texture maps, none of them are larger than 512 by 512. I think I have two 512 by 512s. I have one 256 by 512, and then I have that channel pack tile just sort of tile mask, the displacement, ambient occlusion, all that stuff, that channel packed optimum texture. And altogether, that's only 1 megabyte for all those assets, and only 4 textures to call in. Really, really, really optimum feature, really cool. Finally managed to get it to work with displacement parallax, and it works fantastic. So there are a few changes to the features aside from that. If you look at the lacquered mahogany, you'll see it looks kind of a little bit different than it did before. And if I just open up the this right here, you can sort of see this really dramatic effect with the clear code and the just the way it's rendered. And part of that is you can now set in the miscellaneous category how metallic your material is. This is a very simple addition, but I figured it would be really cool if you wanted to give your materials like a metallic sheen. It wouldn't be completely metallic because this looks like it's copper, and it wouldn't be completely like wood. it would be kind of half 50-50, like half and half. Maybe not too much, but something like that. And that gives it this sort of really slick look. And because this is a clear coat, I also have a new clear coat blend under the roughness setting. And this blends between the just a basic wood roughness that you have underneath and the clear coat roughness. This is at full blast. You can go in between and sort of not have too strong of a coat applied, or you can make it stronger if you want. So the lacquered mahogany is really takes advantage of these new adjustments and features, and it works really well. I also got rid of the option not to have the like the tiling of all these materials. In the past, the tiling was done in a pixel shader. Now I'm doing it all in the custom UVs. That saves one instruction, and I think it uses a few more vertex shaders, but it saves you plenty on the pixel shaders, so you're welcome. Every single material has one one instruction shaved off, so that's great. So something else that's really big that I want to switch over to now is the home content. Now, if you checked out the... I'm not going to save anything. Yay, here's the home. If you were looking at the forums, you'll realize that I had posted some early pictures of this. But I'm basically making something of a home content to show off, excuse me, some of the features in the system. And I don't know how that happened, but right now some of it has been blocked out in BSP. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but you can see we have a beautiful table, table legs, some glass materials. I took one of the textures from the system and I made it like into a granite. We have a rocking chair. Very nice rocking chair. Some plants, vases, you know, some basic things for the home. And we also have these lights. Actually, before I show you the lights, I'd like to show you this beautiful picture. Beautiful paint shader on a picture. So if you actually want to make a paint sort of artwork in your home, you can just use this shader. I used some rather thick normals on it in order to get this nice, appealing look. Something else that I didn't show you guys, you can actually set these shadows are actually the Parallax Occlusion shadows. You don't need to have them all be facing the direction of the sun. These I actually set in the shader itself. That's one feature that was unused or undemonstrated before. But yeah, you can. The shadows don't always have to be with the sun direction if you don't want them to be. Now, something really cool that I have for architectural visualization people is toggleable lights. So when you get near the wall switch, you basically activate the light, and then you can click with the mouse to turn them on and off. I have two different blueprints for this. I have the wall panel and the light. And what's really cool about this setup is you can control more than one light with one switch, and you have more than one switch to control more than one light. And I can so I have the lights off here, and it shows off on the panel. I can go over here, and it'll show off on the panel. Then I can switch it on. It'll be on. All the lights are on. And on the other panel, it switches to on too. So really quickly, I just want to show you guys how to use this thing. I'll go ahead and drag in from the home content. So we have a lamp. There's a nice IES profile too with the lamp, so it looks kind of like an LED light. It's kind of what I modeled it after. And then you have the wall switch. Now you can scale the light to whatever you want, so it's no big deal. But for right now, we'll just pretend that that's okay. And what I do in the switch, I click it and I go over to the details panel. Now the detection size is how close I need to be to the switch in order to detect it on. By default, it's 200. I think that's what I have it set. Oh, 150 there. Okay. So you can set that to whatever you want. And then you have two panels right here, switches and lights. Now this is a little bit tricky, so you have to click the plus to add an element. And then in here you need to select the light. So you pick actor from the scene, and then we select the light, and it has to be this controlled lamp blueprint that I made in order to work. So we select the light, we have the light in there. Now in the switches, we actually need to select all the switches that all the lights this thing is attached to are controlling to. So basically, with this switch, we select all the lamps and we put all the lamps in there, and then all the lamps, let's say there's 2 lamps, both of these lamps are controlled by this light. So we need to go ahead and add all the lamps here. And then we need to say, for the switch, we need to select itself. Alright, and all this is made in the switch. So one lamp, we can control both lights. And then when you escape, you can't do anything. And now, if you have 2 switches, I'm just gonna. Actually, when I duplicated it, that actually did what it needed to do, a little bit, sort of. Now, in each switch, you need to make sure that the switches tab has all the switches selected in the system. Actually, that's good. So there's 2 lights, there's 2 switches. And every switch basically has to communicate with every other switch, and it communicates with the lights as well. So now when we go to turn it on, both of the switches turn on at the same time, and they turn off at the same time, and they activate at the same time. So everything has to be connected like that. Now, there are some options for this light too. We can check covered, and it'll switch. Oh. It's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. We can adjust the size however we want to. And we can also scale this cable up to the ceiling. And we can even set the width of it. We can make it, that's too much. Yeah, that looks good. Like so, well, too... kind of have to eyeball it. Maybe a little bit smaller. Okay. And we can do the same thing here. So it's very easy. I mean, it takes like 1 minute to set up, but once you set it up, it works fine forever. You can have all these different lamps controlling everything. All these different light switches controlling everything. And if you notice, this system is completely separated from this system. So these light switches will never toggle lights that it's not supposed to. And it works kind of the way, it works almost better than what you would get in a house, because these switches are so intelligent. So you can see like that's a really neat feature for ArcViz people. If you want to have a client come into a house and then be able to turn the lights on and off and see what they look like, that's a really neat feature. And if you're going for super realism, you can even say uncheck or saying use ring particles. Well, they're in their infancy, anyways. So some of these features, like there are like a couple things that need to be worked out, but it works as intended for the main features, for all intents and purposes, the main features that are involved. So I'm going to be expanding this house. I'm going to be remodeling this house. I'm going to be adding new rooms into this house. This house is going to be included with the perfect tile system now. It's joined the family. This is our family home. As well as the beautiful outdoors, which kind of end abruptly if you go too far out, but that's not the point. So anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video, seeing the perfect tile system in demonstration. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you can see how I lit this room, and you can also take a look at the light mask settings in the world settings if you need to get an idea how to get this nice sort of soft lighting look in your own projects. So that's all that I have for you today. A lot of really nice updates to the system. Everything has been working so fantastically. I really thank you guys, and I really appreciate you for all your support. I mentioned this in the thread on UE4, but I used the money from the system to buy a brand new graphics card, a GTX 960. It's been working fantastic, and I'll continue to update the system as time goes on. But for right now, I really hope you guys enjoy creating with it. No, I don't want to save. And I really hope you guys take advantage of the new features. Everything is working better now than it ever has before, and I want to see what you guys make with it. Because I've been kind of showing you guys my stuff all the time, but I want to see what you guys are using the system for. Because there's so many different ways you can use it, so many different examples, so many different things you can do with basically just one shader. And I want to see that. I want to see what you guys are making with this. So if you have any projects you'd like to show me, just feel free to post on my thread. Go ahead and use my thread as your thread. I'll go ahead and link the thread in the description of this video. Again, I thank you very much for your patience and your support. And I think the last news that I'm going to say is this project has really been my baby for the last, I think it's been longer than a year. For a very, very long time, this project has been my baby. It's been more than a year now. And the $15 is really, I'm really selling myself short here on $15, especially with all the complexity involved in making all this stuff. Whenever I make an addition to the shader, I have to check all the other shaders. Several times I even had what is it called? The externally referenced package errors, and I had put like months and months and months of work into the project, and then when I went to update it, Epic basically told me, yeah, you have to revert back to your older version, so I had to redo a lot of work for that. And that's why if there's any updates, it takes time. That's the reason why. So it would really help me out if you guys were willing to pay a little bit higher for the system. It's really worth it right now. You have a lot of home content. You have a lot of really just kick-ass presets. And it's very easy to just swap in your own textures and make your own setup. Like these bricks were sculpted in ZBrush. I mean, if you want to do something like that, you can totally do something like that with this system. And I'm gonna keep working on it. I'm gonna keep developing it. I'm gonna see where it leads me next. But for right now, I think $25 is good for this system, and I really would like to see what you guys make with it. So thank you so much. Thank you for being with me all this time, talking about these updates. If I have any more updates, I'll be sure to post them on the thread, typically the thread first and then my website, and roll those out to you guys as soon as I possibly can. So thank you very much. This is Michael Vahel, and I'm signing off.